Hey everyone! Thanks for tuning in to our special program about Paper Mario Color Splash again. This is Blocked Content. We are a channel where nothing in media is off limits. We review anything and everything, but also love to analyze video games in great detail. That's what we're going to do today. This is our third video on Paper Mario Color Splash, and it seems like this Wii U game is pretty popular at this moment, but sometimes not for the right reasons. The hype seems to be real, everything is picking up speed, and Nintendo seems to be really pushing the game and showing there's more to it than what some fans want to believe up until this point. And I think that's a pretty neat thing to do. We rarely have steady updates on Nintendo projects, aside from, of course, things like Smash Bros., which will sometimes even get daily updates on how the game is progressing and what's happening in it. We get a similar treatment for this game. I got a lot of messages from our awesome subscribers about the previous Color Splash videos, and like in the last one, I'll address what happened, the things you agreed with, the things you thought I was dead wrong about, but most importantly, we're going to take an in-depth, or pretty flat, look at Paper Mario Color Splash's new trailer, which is the second Toad Rescue V Squad trailer, or Rescue Toad Squad V trailer, or Toad Squad, whatever. We're going to analyze exactly what happens in the new video, from new locations to familiar enemies and cool new potential game mechanics. And jokes. They love their jokes. Well, let's dive in, shall we? Alright, so actually, it's not been that long since the first video came up. The first, Rescue V Squad trailer. It's actually been like a week or a week and a half. So that's pretty crazy. These are coming out now weekly, I guess. So yeah, about the new trailer, it gets immediately into the same style, and what I thought was really cool is that they now actually have a theme song. And, it reminds me of the 90s, or at least the late 80s, a TV show, and I steadily got an idea that maybe there's more to this television style than meets the eye at first. Because, as you can all, remember, at least Paper Mario fans, in Paper Mario 2, the Thousand Year Door for the GameCube, there was this very cool style that was like, if you enter a battle, it was like a stage, like a theater performance. And I think something like that might be happening with this game, because the trailers are, themed in this like television set, and it might of course be a very cool, cute way to make these trailers for the Toad V Squad. But I think that there might be a little more to it, and if they actually translate the whole television, 80s style into the game, we could have something very original, because, I think the Paper Mario games have all done it up until this point. We had very cool original kind of styles. One of them was in the Thousand Year Door with the cool stadium fight, and the other one was, I think, the Toy Box, the first Paper Mario game. So having something like a TV set where things happen and maybe things can get paused, or, rewind things, or, turn up the volume, things like that. You can play with that setting, and I think they might, leave a little bit of a hint to that with these kinds of trailers. Alright, so we get another cool look at our Rescue V Squad colors, the Rescue Red, Rescue whatever. And they're standing on top of this hill, and there are these clouds in the background that are held up by pieces of cardboard or strings. And this really reminds me of the style of Yoshi's Island series or Yoshi's Story, games like that. And it's, it's always been like this in a little bit in Paper Mario games, even since the first game, but they've upped that graphical style a lot, and even in Sticker Star, which I know I shouldn't name that game, that's some sort of like Voldemort kind of stuff. But in Sticker Star, they did the whole, cardboard or paper style actually very well, and they're continuing that here. And they're doing actually a really good job. The textures look top-notch. They're good quality. Ever since like the E3 preview stuff, we've all thought, this looks decent quality. We like this. So the Toads are standing on top of the hill. They do the very cool pose. They bend forward, and the explosions go off. And then we actually get a very cool look at some Toads in particular, which, I think is a very cool angle for these trailers to take. They're not just, the team, but they all have their little, small quirky personalities. And that's, of course, what fans of the series have wanted for a very long time. One of the main critiques on, previous Paper Mario games was that compared to the first two, the personalities of NPC characters have been lacking a bit. That everything is just generic toads, generic characters from the Mario, Mushroom Kingdom, and not much else in terms of original new characters that were made specifically for this game, and they have their own story, because that's what happened in Paper Mario, and of course in Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. They went all out with that kind of stuff, and a lot of cool characters actually bloom from these games. I think even in the or in the Mario Party games, a lot of these characters actually get used quite often. I like that. They also get their fair share of representation in Super Smash Bros. As well, and I think it's not that long before we actually get a playable Paper Mario in Smash. But that's a whole different story. I think they're doing very well with this game. And when the Toads do their pose, do I hear voices? So I don't know how in the previous Mario games, the Paper Mario games, they handled these kinds of things. They always did it very sparingly, to my knowledge. And now hearing the Toads actually shout, I think it's a very cool thing to still keep making these games a little more polished. It will never, of course, be fully voice acted. It's an RPG, and I think that's one of the charms of RPG games, that it's kind of like reading a book. It's engrossing yourself in a story and having your own kind of voice for characters in your head or the way that they say things. And what Paper Mario games have always done really well is doing that humor, and making people read them in their own voice enhances that humor, because you can make it a little more personal. But having these Toads be very expressive already, that really helps. And having that very, very cool 90s theme song play in the background, that's just icing on the cake. They're doing it really well with this presentation, and I wouldn't bother if the game actually had a lot of this. And how does Mario, fit into that whole theme? It kind of feels like it's all about Mario, but now it's kind of not all about Mario. While still they're talking about Mario and the gameplay is Mario, but it's kind of like it's about this presentation, It's about these Toads and the way they experience the Mario game. And for this being the trailer style, you gotta wonder, how big are the roles of these little guys in the game? So maybe we'll end up playing as them at some point? I don't think so, but they seem to have a big role to play in this game. And like we know from the previous video, this episode 2, is called Move Out. And Move Out has the subtitle, Sheer Cliffs on a Red Road. So we speculated last episode what this might be about, and I said it was something like a desert, a red road, rocky road, like some sort of desert area, maybe that we've seen in the previous trailer, and then sheer cliffs. It makes sense, having these mountaintops. Turns out I was dead wrong on every aspect of that, because it actually makes a lot more sense when you see it in this trailer, so I'm going to go over that a bit. But I thought it was really cool that they were kind of misleading the audience with the name of the trailer. So when we get to the end of this video and hear what the actual name is of the next one, yeah, we'll know to take it with a grain of salt, because it will probably, subvert our expectations dramatically. Then we get a very cool moment with our, team leader, I would suppose. He's spinning around, he puts his arms in the air, looks very, very angry, and this is Rescue Red, that's his name, and his tagline is, he stops at every red light. That's kind of what you're supposed to do, you stop at the red light. So yeah, he's following the rules, I guess, that's why he's such a hero. Yeah, stopping at every red light, that's kind of what you do. It's except if it's the light on a camera or something, it's usually when you do something and don't stop, like I'm doing right now. So what happens now, we get a little bit of game footage, and this is where something weird happens with the trailer, because in front of the TV set there's this little character, the Rescue Red. But he is in front of the TV, so is he real, or, is the TV like an alternate dimension, or can he just step outside of it? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really make that much sense. What I thought was really weird is that this part of the trailer is 60 frames per second, or at least the Toad moving, not the actual gameplay footage. Now, we of course know that the game will be 60 frames per second, so yeah, rejoice for all the people who are very happy about that kind of stuff. But it kind of looks weird in this trailer. They're mixing both, and that's not very professional, I think. So we get to the Toad saying, hey, weird non-flat people, rescue Red here. And it's he's being kind of racist because we are we can also be flat if we want, So don't be like that. Don't be like that, Rescue Red. That rhymes. Also, what I thought was very cool is that you immediately see kind of the name of the trailer, because this is a red road. I wouldn't be surprised if this level was called like the Red Road or something, because the through line seems to be this pathway, and it's red painted because of course the game's about the color splash, painting stuff with your hammer. So yeah, this is the Red Road. It's not a desert, it's not anything weird, it's just a road that's colored red. Toad goes on to say that today he'll show us the bravery of the Red Rescue Squad. So this I thought was extremely important, because now he's actually saying that these rescue squads all have big teams of little toads that help out. So every color is probably for a different purpose. We didn't really get that out of the last trailer, only if guessed, I guess. But yeah, Toad confirms it here. They're not clones, I guess, like we pitched in the last video. They're not clones. They are a whole rescue squad of one color. So they're kind of like a Toad army. So maybe we'll get like a war at the end of the game. Like all the Toad squads forming together to be like one big giant army against maybe Bowser's army. That would look so cool. Just imagine that. All these colored Toads battling, and then Mario walking through it to face Bowser in the midst of like a giant paper battle. No, I don't think that will happen, but it sounds very cool. And I like the little detail that the Toad also turns around to like look at the TV himself. And that's where we of course see the fire extinguisher. The real life objects return from Sticker Star, and you can do very cool things with these things in battle, and the Toads will actually help you get them. And now we of course get Rescue Red's help to get to the top of the cliff, because the cliff is too high for Mario to normally jump. This is not a 3D Mario game, so there's no triple jumps, there's no crazy flips or wall jumps, so we have to rely on the power of the rescue Toads to do it for us. And we get this in a very cool sequence where there's a couple of Toads that fan out on the floor, and Mario actually has to jump on them to like propel them forward and slam into the wall to become sort of a staircase. And that's where, of course, the little banter comes from. Wait, look a little closer at the colors. Those aren't your red Toads, dude. Those are the purple Toads. I like how the TV also pauses, I was talking about this could maybe happen like that in the game as well. So I hope they do a lot more with that TV feeling of everything. And seeing Mario jump on the platforms looks so cute. And I like how bossy the purple Toad is, right? That's us, man. The purple squad. Purple. Purple. I like how the character really shines through. Mario is seen picking the fire extinguisher out of the ground, and this classic animation, we know this from Sticker Star as well. And I think it's safe to say that these kinds of items, they're the big help in the battles, and they blow enemies away, or they help you extinguish flame enemies, stuff like that. I think it's safe to say those things remain unchanged. I personally don't really care for them that much. I think it's a little too gimmicky. I think it's more or less something that Mario and Luigi RPG series would do. Doesn't really fit Paper Mario to my idea. Also, giving things like, a real fire extinguisher makes it feel weird, like there's a real world, like there are actual humans and they're just watching paper toys play on their desk. It kind of screws with my mind a little bit. I don't really like that much, but at least the graphics look very nice. Then of course we get the sequence where Mario and of course the paint bucket, side character, they get the fire extinguisher. Mario gets the super important thing with a capital T. The crowd goes wild, and it's very weird to see Rescue Red say this and look so angry. Even his whole head is like almost like red from anger. Why is he so angry at Mario for getting the thing? He helped Mario get the thing. I don't get it. And the graphics here look quite nice. The fire extinguisher turning it into a card. That animation looks really well done. And now here is where it becomes very interesting. We get to see Morton Koopa, one of the, Koopalings. Previously there were Bowser's kids. Now that's not canon anymore. They're just Bowser's whatever, henchmen. And we actually see the fire extinguisher used here in a boss fight where Morton's hammer is on fire. And we're using the fire extinguisher to extinguish the flames with the hammer, possibly to make it hurt a little bit less when it smacks you in the head. And then the Toad actually says, "Eat chemicals, bad guy." I think that's pretty funny. He doesn't even know his name. It's like, you're just generic bad guy up until this point, So it seems like all is well, because after a hard day of saving the world, we hit the hot spring. So I'm very curious if that city scape is actually one whole world, or if it does, really connect to this hot spring that we're seeing right here. I think the hot spring area looks awesome. Don't remember having one in Mario games. It kind of feels like a volcano area, where in one area there might be lava, and one area there might be, hot water. But it looks very cute. I also think that the paint bucket character looks very cute, bathing away here. Really hope the characters are wearing clothes. It would be very weird if they weren't. Doesn't really fit the Mario series, but it's nice to imagine that and feel weird about it, right? No? So yeah, generic toads in the water, of course, because generic toads just need to be in Paper Mario games now. That's, I guess, how it works. And for the first time in ever, the Rescue Red, he actually looks very happy. Look at that cute smile on his face. And then, of course, very concerned, Purple says, "Bro, you didn't do anything. That was the Purple Squad." So yeah, they're having this little banter in between. I like that. I hope this continues in the game. I can't say anything else. I really wish that these characters are just a part, just as big as a part of the game that they are in these trailers. That would, really make or break things, I think. And then we get this funny end sequence where Mario is, blow drying himself, and it says, "Remember kids, dry off after bathing to prevent warping." Of course, warping, because it's like paper and stuff like that. I really like that. Of course, that whole blow dryer is probably another weapon in the game, but I like this visual joke. And yeah, maybe it does help. Maybe it replenishes some health or something. I always like to see things in things, so maybe it has some sort of gameplay value other than just being a funny joke for the trailer. Who knows? It kind of looks cute to me. And that's where Rescue Red says, "That's all for today. See you next time." So this was a shorter installment, but very interesting still to see new locations. I wonder if they, connect to each other. And it's very cool to have these steady updates for Paper Mario because, we need to get excited about this game because it's one of the last Wii U games we're getting before the NX hits. And we're very excited for that one, but we kind of want to still use our Wii U because, it still exists in our living rooms. And then Purple comes in and say, "So the Red Squad did absolutely nothing." Yeah, good call, man. And then it says, "Next time, episode 3, Infiltration, secret base on the Blue Sea." So are we going to, give our thoughts on what this might be? I don't know. I think it might be a part of maybe Bowser's Castle. It's infiltration. I'm immediately thinking, a secret base on the Blue Sea might be Bowser's base. But it could also mean a water level that's just generic, and maybe we'll, get to learn more about Rescue Blue. Maybe we get a little more information about the blue guy. We saw him in the first trailer. Wonder what he's up to in the Blue Sea, right? And of course, the game releases in October, so we're not actually that far off. I'm very excited for this game because showing more about this game makes me all the more excited to actually play this very cool Paper Mario, RPG on my console and not have it be on a 3DS or something. I'm just very excited to have a new adventure to play. I'm very curious what you guys think of these trailers so far. Are they giving you new hope for the game? Are they confirming your doubts, your suspicions that this might be Sticker Star 2.0, which also, kind of looks like it too, but they're improving in things, so can you really blame them? I think it's a little bit, the good versus evil, I guess. I can't wait to review this game. I think it will be a very hard job to do because it feels like this game will be trying its best to win you over. That's what it feels like from the trailers. So it's kind of like that friend that did you wrong all those years ago, and then you see him again, and it's like, man, you're actually not all that bad, but should I really forgive you after what you did to me? That's what Paper Mario Color Splash feels like to me. Anyway, if you guys like this video and like blocked content, you can of course subscribe to us, so please hit that button, become part of our family. And you can also check us out on Twitter and on Facebook at Squared Things, and you can follow us there and see how funny we are on the social medias. Thank you anyway, as usual. This was blocked content. Until the next Paper Mario Color Splash trailer hits. See ya.